ఇక Banjarahills లో ఉమెన్స్ డే సెలబ్రేషన్స్ లో మంత్రి KTR మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. లైవ్ లో చూద్దాం.
A lot of energy into this initiative. In fact, we announced it on the last day of GES, the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, and within no time really, we've in fact been able to give some shape to it. And thank you to you, and thanks to you, and also Jayesh Ranjan, who is on his way here. And there are many friends, there are many entrepreneurs who I have interacted with in the last few years that I've been a minister. Thank you, Shweta, for coming all the way to Salesforce and the entire team here. And a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of strong women who I've interacted with in the last 3.5 years. Vanita, Kamini, Jyotsna, and Fiki, Flo, Aleep, Kove, and CII. Number of organizations also represented here. Thank you very much for taking the time out and for joining me here. And please, where is Deepika? Please stop taking out the blurb from my wiki. I'm going to fire the guy who wrote that wiki for me. If I was some tiger, I would have been in a zoo, so I'm glad I'm not. So thank you. Jayesh Ranjan Garu, please welcome onto the dais. Thank you. Jayesh, you're going to live 99. You came in 1 minute late. So, well, it's my pleasure to host you all today at the launch of VHub. It's one of its kind of initiative of the government of Telangana in the country today. Why women entrepreneurs? Why are we particularly talking about women entrepreneurs today? Is it mere symbolism, tokenism, or something that we had to do on International Women's Day to also get some political mileage out of it? No, that's not what this is about. Whenever we hear about entrepreneurs, whenever we hear about people who have invented something, inventors, creators, tinkerers, ideators, as they are called, even if you look back into history, even when you kind of do a Google search and see who's invented what, in fact, one of the questions that we keep getting several times, there aren't many women entrepreneurs, there aren't many women inventors, women creators, so to speak. In fact, women have been credited with creating the world. But unfortunately, when you go back and do a search or just pull out a list of people that have invented anything, I'm sure there are many women out there who have done lots, but unfortunately their names just don't pop up right up on the list. So when we started thinking, even when we draft a policy as a government, we talk about the marginalized sections. We talk about SC entrepreneurs, Dalit entrepreneurs, tribal entrepreneurs. We talk about entrepreneurs of all hues and shades, entrepreneurs from backward classes, etc. But rarely do we touch upon this subject of women entrepreneurship. Even when we do, like I said, it's mostly tokenism, mostly symbolism. Mostly governments, when they talk about women entrepreneurs or efforts of women entrepreneurs and efforts of governments in terms of supporting women entrepreneurs, we don't sincerely get to the point of incorporating it in policy, get to the point of actually making a very strong statement through policy that we shall and we will encourage, and this is what we are going to do on a piece of paper. We don't normally do it. We talk on occasions like this, and then we renege and go away and do our own thing. That's typically is what happens. We wanted to talk about it. We actually wanted to introspect. We also wanted, in fact, when Deepti came on board, the first meeting we had, myself, Jayesh, Funny, and bunch of my team members as well. In fact, for those of you who are wondering who Funny is, can you just come up onto the dais for a minute? Missamma Funny is the gentleman who is credited with one of the most popular startups called Redbus, redbus.com. Walk up, please. Funny also, in fact, Missamma Funny is, in fact, not just the founder of Redbus, but he is a gentleman who actually has his roots, who has his base right here in the state of Telangana. He is from Nizamabad, a guy who's gone to, he has a rural background, and then eventually I think Shashi Vangapalli had to go through her own a journey of engineering or medicine, or a sort of a debate, and then you eventually end up completing your engineering in Hyderabad or Bangalore, and then you end up starting to work in some tech company. That's, I think, how Funny's journey started as well. But I think the good thing for him was when he was in Bangalore, he had told me, and I'm paraphrasing quite liberally, he had told me that the good thing about his entrepreneurial journey was he had a lot of support groups around him. He had a lot of people to support him when he was in Bangalore. He had an idea. He didn't really know how to be an entrepreneur. But the good thing was there were people around him to guide him. See, that's what these incubators are all about. In fact, if you ask me, Shashi has succeeded despite not having any incubator to support her. And so is the case with Sneha and Sahitya. They have succeeded despite not having a proper incubator and somebody to really guide them. But they have done it on their own. The fact is, if they had mentorship, if they had access to capital, if they had access to a network which could help them overcome these regulatory barriers, bureaucratic barriers, and in terms of incorporating something, in terms of setting something up, it would have made it that much more easier, that much more quicker, and they would not have had to go through so many things as they have otherwise. See, there are a lot of examples of people, entrepreneurs, who have succeeded despite any support from the system. In fact, even if you look at our sports stars, sporting champions today, and many of whom are women and who are actually having roots in Hyderabad. Look at Sania, look at Sindhu, look at Saina, look at Aruna Reddy, who won something recently, who won the bronze in world gymnastics. You look at any of these champs, Jwala, so many of them in fact. Many of them in fact have done it despite any support from the government or despite any support from the system that we live in. In fact, one of the things we said, we said to ourselves when we said, let's do a V-Hub. Were we doing it purely because this was a statement we wanted to make on the ultimate day of GES? No. We said, if you have, see, I have two children. I have a 12-year-old boy and a 9-year-old girl. I think everything else being equal, their creative juices, their level of intellect, everything else being equal. Same background, same family, same everything, right? But if they were to start their entrepreneurial journey, let's think and let's introspect for a second. Is it easier for the guy versus the girl? I would say absolutely yes, no matter which part of the world you're in. You could be in the United States, you could be in India, you could be any part of the world. The fact of the matter is, this is not a very fair world to women. So when we started thinking about women entrepreneurs, or our efforts to support women entrepreneurs, why should we do this? That kind of questions popped up. And like I said, was it merely to basically make a statement? No.